I'll show you how to use Claude directly inside Excel. So first, let's get Claude into Excel. Go to Add-ins, search for Claude, and click Add. Once it's installed, simply log in, and Claude should now be connected to your workbook. And now we can actually start using it. One of the easiest things you can do is simply ask Claude questions about your spreadsheet. For example, you could ask, explain this dataset in simple terms. Claude can look through the spreadsheet, identify the different columns, and explain what kind of information you're actually working with. This is really useful if someone sends you a large spreadsheet and you have no idea what you're looking at. Another really useful feature is formulas. Let's say you want to calculate something, but you don't know which Excel formula to use. For example, create a new column that calculates the total value for each row. Claude can then help create the formula for you. And this isn't only useful for basic formulas. You can also describe much more complicated calculations, but it also works the other way around. If you already have a formula in your spreadsheet and have absolutely no idea what it does, select it and ask, explain this formula in simple terms. Claude can then break it down and explain what each part of the formula is doing. Cleaning data. You might have missing values, duplicate rows, inconsistent formatting, or numbers that have accidentally been stored as text. Instead of checking everything manually, you can ask Claude, check this dataset for potential problems. Claude can then go through the data and point out things that might need your attention. Now let's move on to data analysis. You don't necessarily need to know complicated Excel functions to start analyzing your data. You can just ask questions in normal language. For example, are there any interesting patterns in this data? And while Claude is analyzing the spreadsheet, I bet you can't like the video and subscribe before it finishes. Claude can analyze the spreadsheet and explain what stands out. Claude can also help with sorting and filtering. For example, filter out all rows where the value is below 100. So for a lot of these everyday Excel tasks, you can basically just describe what you want to happen, creating summary tables. For example, create a pivot table that compares categories across regions. And once Claude has created it, you can keep making changes using follow-up prompts. So you could say, add the average value. You don't have to start over every time. You can just keep refining the result. Next up is charts. So you could ask, create a bar chart showing the total value by region. But again, you can keep using follow-up instructions. You could simply say, make the chart easier to read. Or ask it to change the chart type, title, labels, or the data being displayed.